Hi friends, Andrew Carruthers here, Education Director for Sam Villa. Both in the salon and from our guests, a common question is, why aren't my curls holding? We go through the process to teach our guests how to do a great curl on their hair, or maybe we're doing a curl in someone's hair and it's just not holding. So we're going to give you 4 reasons why those curls might not be holding. So first things first, it's all about product, right? What we set up in the hair is so essential when we want that all-night hold when it comes to curl. You know, most of the time we're also referring to especially your finer, softer-haired clients when we're thinking of guests that don't have the ability to hold that curl for a long time. So with those textures especially, we want to stay away from products that have too much oil or silicone. So even in the shampoo bowl, think about volumizing and thickening products that have a little drier touch to them. You know, you might even skip that last conditioner or just do a very quick rinse at the very end just to shut down the cuticle. Coming back to the chair again, we want to stay away from anything that has too much softening power to it. So on this particular occasion, maybe it's staying away from leave-in conditioners and just going straight in with volumizing products. Especially if you have a guest that has especially fine hair, we highly recommend doing a massive dose of Redken Guts 10. You know, a lot of times when we're working behind the scenes at a photo shoot, what we do is we soak the hair with this. And when I say soak the hair, I'm talking starting from barely damp to even dry hair and soaking the hair with Guts 10 and then re-blow drying. So great product for that. Also, once the hair is dry, keeping away from anything that's going to add too much product-y feel to it. Of course, no waxes, oils, silicones, anything of that sort. And then coming in with a product that's really specifically designed for putting heat on the hair. You know, some lighter, drier hairsprays might be good, but something like this, the Iron Shape 11 from Redken, is going to be another great product to put in that's still going to give the hair some hold, but also some heat protection, but it's not going to leave the hair feeling heavy, weighted down, or too product-y. So be cautious with that product solution. The second thing is the setup of the hair, even down to the blow dry itself. So on our beautiful Chris Sorby mannequin head here, we did 2 different types of blow dries. On our left side, where it's very, very polished and very smooth, we used our Signature Series 9-row finishing brush. Now, this is going to add a lot of tension and it's going to stretch the hair fiber. So it's going to get a lot of polish to the hair. On this side, we did a similar process, but we just did it with our Signature Series paddle brush, which doesn't actually create as much tension, and you can see that it's not as finished, it's not as refined. Sometimes we overwork that first blow dry, that first setup process, and what happens is on this side, because it's so overly polished and overly stretched, it doesn't have the same bounce. So if you look, I took the exact same size section, and I even counted to the second, the exact same amount of time on the iron, and then I just let it drop. So on this side, you know, we do have some curl, and these mannequins actually take curl quite well. But in relation to the opposite side, you can see on the opposite side, especially up here, I have a little bit more bounce to it. I have a little more lift to it because I didn't overstretch the hair. So again, if you or your client is having challenges with their curl holding, you might want to check in on the prep process. If they've got really baby fine hair, maybe it's even just a rough dry. Maybe there's no brushes going into it at all. Another possible reason that those curls aren't holding is your guest's hair is too healthy. And it's horrible to say that, but you know, in certain cases, it's great to have a little bit of damage to the hair, and it does help a lot of times with curl holding. Now, we're not suggesting that you intentionally damage your guest's hair, but it's taking notice that if you have someone that has super silky, super soft hair sitting in your chair, it's probably going to take a lot to get that curl to stay. Now, we do have one solution in particular, and it's this. It's our Sam Villa Texture Iron. And if you look into the plates, you can see there's these little ridges in there. And those ridges, what they do is they help to expand the shape of the cuticle. And it kind of fluffs up that cuticle. It actually changes the texture of the hair a bit so that that soft, silky, fine hair gets disrupted. Now, what I've done is on this side, I've taken a section and I've pre-textured it. Now this section right here is exactly the same size as this section. I think you can already see how much more fullness it has to it. That's important. Now, when we come in with our iron and we curl over top of that texture, we get something really incredible. We get the ability to have a lot more body and a lot more hold. Now, I'm going to take our Samvia Artist Series curling iron. Wait, we have a curling iron? It's coming soon, guys. Keep your eye out. We're going to go in and we're going to just do a simple curl. Now, the spoon's kind of getting in my way, so I'm just going to pop it off. Uh-oh. Marcel and a wand in one. It's coming, guys. Don't worry. All right. So now that I've teased you with the new product, let's get back to work. So we're just going to hold and wrap. We just wrap. Got that nice extra long barrel on there for you guys, and we'll hold. Now as we're holding, to make sure we get to the proper temp, we'll just take our finger and we'll keep touching on the hair. And we'll just make sure that we're getting enough heat through that hair so that the outside is just as well heated as the inside. And that feels really nice. So we'll pop that off. We'll let that cool for just a moment. And now you can see side by side how much more fullness and body I have in the textured side. But more than anything, since what we're talking about is holding, this will hold all night long. So in solutions where I do have someone that comes in with baby fine, very soft hair, if I do this texture set first, and you can be as heavy-handed or as light-handed as you want, depending on how much texture you want to see, but this will hold for a very, very, very long time in comparison to non-textured hair. So this is your solution if they have that baby fine, really soft hair. So the fourth and final reason that your curls are probably not holding very well is exactly what I was just talking about, and that's the cooling process. Now, I think most of you know that you're supposed to cool the curl instead of just letting it drop or running your hands through it while it's still hot. Your guests might not know that, so a good hot tip to give them. Now, for those of you that are having challenges with those fine, soft textures not holding curl, the other thing is, did you know that it can take up to 30 minutes for those bonds to completely reform? So after we place heat on the hair, it can take up to 30 minutes of cooling for those bonds to fully form. So that's really important to know, because a quick cooling in the hand might not be sufficient. We need to get out our little clips and we need to roll that section up, put a clip in it, and let it cool. Now, if you have the ability to pre-curl a style and then let it sit in that curled form for up to 30 minutes, that's going to give you the most longevity. We hope that those 4 quick tips really shape what you do behind the chair and give you better lasting curls. Any questions or comments, please leave them in that little box below. We love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Andrew Carruthers, Education Director for Samvia.